Welcome to this explainer. Today, we're going to build a rock-solid foundation of how computer systems actually work, stripping away all that technical mystery to look right at the raw mechanics of hardware and software. But we aren't just going to sit here and learn the theory. No, we are going to immediately test our knowledge by conquering the textbook exercises together. So whether you're just reviewing the basics or really trying to cement your mastery, you are in exactly the right place. Okay, here is our game plan for today. We're going to explore computer hardware, understand software, put them head to head, and then wrap up by solving some objective and short answer questions. Let's get right to it.
Kicking things off with Section 1, Exploring Computer Hardware.
Alright, so to start, we need a crystal clear definition. Hardware refers to all the parts of a computer that we can touch and feel. It's essentially a collection of physical components. So the absolute crucial point here is that if you can reach out and physically touch it with your hands, if it has weight, if it takes up space on your desk, you are interacting with hardware. And this is a perfect example of our first major category of hardware, input devices. Things like keyboards, mice, and scanners are the physical tools that let us feed data and instructions into the machine, right? The keyboard lets us type, the mouse lets us select things, and the scanner takes a physical hard copy and actually turns it into a soft copy inside your computer.
Now, what's super interesting here is how the CPU sits right in tandem with our output devices. The CPU, or Central Processing Unit, acts as the absolute brain of the computer, processing all the calculations. But, once it actually does the math, it needs a way to show us the results. And that is exactly where output devices come in, like a monitor displaying your screen, or a printer giving you the results on a piece of paper. Moving right along to Section 2, Understanding Computer Software. Here's the reality check, though. All that physical hardware, it cannot work alone. It's essentially just a really expensive paperweight without instructions. So software is defined as a set of instructions stored on disk drives that tell the computer hardware exactly what to do and how to perform a particular job. Essentially, software is the magic that makes the hardware parts actually work. And we can actually categorize this software into two main types. First up, we have system software. Think of this as the vital middleman. It includes operating systems like Windows, Unix, or Linux. It is the very first thing installed, and without it, you literally can't use the computer at all. The second type is application software. This is the specialized stuff that lets us do specific tasks, like using WordPad for typing a letter, or firing up MS Paint and Photoshop to draw a picture. All right, Section 3, Hardware versus Software. Let's put them head to head. Let's break down the key differences here. Hardware relies on physical components, while software is just the instructions. You can actually touch hardware, but software is totally invisible. Crucially, hardware physically degrades over time, Keys break, screens crack, while software never physically wears out. And finally, hardware is split into input and output devices, while software is split into system and application types.
Which brings us to Section 4, Solving the Objective Questions. Time to test ourselves.
Okay, it is time to actually put what we've just reviewed into practice with some textbook exercises. We'll do multiple choice, fill in the blanks, matching, the whole shebang. So, here's our first multiple choice question. What are the parts of a computer that you can touch and feel called? Is it A, software, B, hardware, C, operating system, or D, application? Take a quick mental guess based on our definitions before I reveal the answer. Did you guess B, hardware? If so, you are absolutely correct, because as we learned right at the start, physical interaction, that ability to actually touch and feel the components, is the fundamental definition of hardware.
Let's switch gears and try a fill-in-the-blank. Blank software is used to type, edit, store, and print documents. Think back to our discussion on application software examples. What specific category handles our text documents?
If you said word processing software, you nailed it. Word processing software, like WordPad, WordPerfect, or MS Word, is the perfect, specific application tool designed precisely for typing and editing your documents.
Now let's do a quick rapid-fire matching round for these core terms. Hardware, those are the physical components you can touch. Software is a set of instructions. The CPU is the brain of the computer. The operating system is what makes the computer run. And graphical software is what we use to make greeting cards. Boom, concepts locked.
And finally, Section 5, Tackling the Short Answers. All right, here's a classic textbook question. Why is the CPU called the brain of the computer? Let's consult the source text on this one.
The source literally states it perfectly. CPU performs all calculations and is known as the brain of the computer. Because it handles every single calculation the computer needs to function, processing all that logic and math behind the scenes, it acts exactly like a human brain does for the body.
Moving on to the next question. Can hardware work without software? Explain your answer. I want you to think back to that relationship between the physical machine and its invisible instructions that we discussed earlier. The answer here is a massive, definitive no. Hardware cannot work alone. Just like a car needs a driver to actually get anywhere, hardware is essentially totally useless without software. It absolutely requires that set of software instructions to tell it exactly what to do and how to perform its specific jobs.
Which brings us to our final higher-order thinking skills prompt from the text. You have worked with various types of application softwares. Name a few others than mentioned in this chapter. I really want to leave you with this final thought. Take a second to look at the apps on your own phone or computer right now. Beyond WordPad or Paint, what other incredible things is application software helping you do today? Whether it's editing a video, navigating a map, or listening to an explainer just like this one, software is driving the hardware all around you. Thanks for joining me on this deep dive into computer basics. Keep exploring, and I'll catch you next time.